How's it going, you guys? This is Adrian again. AZPlow21 is the channel name, and I'm here to bring you some more NJPW action in TEW 2013. As you remember in the first episode, I showed you Dominion 2016, and in the main event of that event, we had Bobby Roode winning the IWGP Heavyweight title from Kazuchika Okada. So now, what I want to do in the second episode is kind of just get you up to speed of where I've been at as far as this save goes, because a lot of stuff has happened that will confuse you. And yeah, I should probably just start from the beginning, shouldn't I? So, starting from the very, very beginning, if we go to the very beginning, the real first thing of any relevance is going to be this one right here. So, as you can see in the pre-show, I hired some pretty new guys, like the ICMG, which is Rich Swann and Ricochet, and I was just trying to get them over remotely. This was Power Struggle 2015. So, I started in November of 2015, not December, so I started even earlier than I thought I did. So, if we just go down really quickly, the only thing that you really need to know, Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated AJ Styles in the co-main event, and Kazuchika Okada defeated Yuji Nagata for the heavyweight title. I think I was saving Hiroshi Tanahashi for the Wrestle Kingdom, and I just needed a filler challenger for Okada because I hadn't really signed anybody, and the people that I had signed weren't very over, so I just put Nagata in there because at the time he was very over with the crowd. Gave him a heavyweight title opportunity that Okada quickly won. Tanahashi defeating AJ Styles. Nakamura defeating Bobby Roode to retain the IC title. Roode got over real quick just because he's a real good worker. And you could see why I got so confident in him and eventually decided to put the heavyweight title on him. Because, I mean, this was only his third match in the company, I believe, and a 76 overall grade against Nakamura. I mean, psh. But yeah, so my faith in him is retained still. So moving on to the December pay-per-view, that's the World Tag League pay-per-view. They do that every year, actually, at New Japan World Tag League, where they'll have 2 blocks of like 8 tag teams and have them face everyone in their block before going on to the semifinals and the finals. So I'll just cover that. So in the semifinals, AJ Styles and Kazuchika Okada, because they were a team for whatever reason, defeated the Wolves, and then Hiroshi Tanahashi and Nakamura defeated the Young Bucks. I was very tempted to have the Young Bucks go up against Styles and Okada, but So the real thing that you really need to know, Kenny Omega defeated Kota Ibushi to retain his junior heavyweight title. Bobby Roode defeated Yuji Nagata to retain the Never Openweight title, because I think I gave it to him on a house show, on one of these like house shows, because I do a weekly house show just so I can get guys over with some matches and stuff like that. Bullet Club defeated Tenkoji and Goto and Shibata to retain the tag titles, and then Nakamura and Tanahashi defeated Styles and Okada for the World Tag League title, which is just a tournament title. And basically all that meant was that Nakamura and Tanahashi were going to go after Styles and Okada's championships at that time, because at the time Styles was IC champion and Okada was the heavyweight champion. So yeah, that was solid booking on my part, because that got a 90 overall grade on the main event. So yeah, kudos to myself. And then not so much kudos when I actually got to Wrestle Kingdom, because it got a worse grade than the World Tag League show, and I do not know how. I felt like I felt like the matches I put together were really good. I'm just gonna run down the whole Wrestle Kingdom for you. So the Young Bucks defeated Red Dragon to retain the junior tag titles, and that got a 56 for some reason, and I do not know why. Going down, Goto, Tetsuya Naito, and Nagata defeated Aries, Aldis, and Ishii. Looking back on that was probably a mistake, because the way that I'm booking Aries now is a lot better than I was doing it before. Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Bad Luck Fale and Tama Tonga. That was just a throwaway match. I tended to do a lot of that in the earlier parts of the save, and I've learned to not use people when I do not need to. And just like this, like I booked a 10-man match in Wrestle Kingdom of guys that I should not even be using. Yoshihashi, Toru Yano, Taka Michinoku, Taichi, Shelton Benjamin. Not guys that I need to be using every week, much less on, their WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? So Killer Elite Squad KES defeated Makabe and Hanma. That was basically a number one contenders match for the tag titles. That got a 58. Terrible match. The Wolves defeated Roppongi Vice and Inner City Machine Guns in the Time Splitters. That was a number one contenders match for the junior tag titles. That got a better rating, but still. Seidel defeated Kenny Omega for the junior heavyweight title. That didn't even have a good match rating, which confused me because I figured they would put on a good match. Bullet Club defeated Liger and Tiger for the tag titles to retain it. That got a terrible rating because Liger and Tiger are like 50 years old. And then Bobby Roode defeated Tenzan to retain the openweight title. At this point, I started realizing that Bobby Roode could put on really good matches, even with old guys like Tenzan and Liger and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go a little harder on Roode. So I would have him lose the openweight title on the next pay-per-view and then start to book him more seriously. So, and I know you're going to see this and get a little confused. Seth Rollins defeated Katsuyori Shibata. I worked out a deal with WWE in this game. Keep in mind, this would never happen in real life, even though they just had Liger on a NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, but you'll never see it in real life that a WWE employee ever shows up on an NJPW show. But I worked out a deal with them where I can borrow their wrestlers for exorbitant amounts of money. So I signed on Seth Rollins for like a 4-appearance deal, and I had him make his debut at Wrestle Kingdom where he defeated Shibata, and it got a 76. Not the best, but it was okay. So in the co-main event, AJ Styles defeated Nakamura for the IC title. And in the main event, we had Okada defeat Tanahashi to retain the heavyweight title, which is the same thing that happened on the real show. So, if we move over to the next pay-per-view, it is the New Japan Cup, which is another tournament they do yearly at New Japan. It's basically a 16 wrestler single elimination tournament. I did 16 this time, but the next time I'm doing it, I'm doing a 32-man tournament just because I'm, mental, and I like booking matches like that. So, the whole tournament went on, and all you really need to know is that in the semifinals, Seth Rollins defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, and then Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Bobby Roode. Like I said, starting to book Roode a lot more seriously, and look at that, a 90 rating on that match with Tanahashi. That gave me a lot of faith in him, for sure. And so then Omega defeated Seidel to get back his junior title. The Wolves defeated the Young Bucks for the junior tag titles. AJ Styles defeated Shibata to retain the IC title, which makes no sense because Shibata had just come off a pay-per-view loss. And then Seth Rollins defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi for the New Japan Cup. And I did this mainly because I'm a mark for Seth Rollins, and secondly because I knew he could put on a really good match with Okada, which he did, and you'll see in a second. At least I think he did. But yeah, so that got an 87 rating for the main event, and the New Japan Cup a better show than Wrestle Kingdom, which started to piss me off because I realized that my Wrestle Kingdom card was just not good. Part of it was because I made it 4 hours long, and that was probably not the most smartest thing to do. But Wrestle Kingdom was 4 hours long, and it was basically WrestleMania time. So I probably should have just put more minutes into my matches, but then they would have got even worse ratings because then they're not as over. I don't know. The next Wrestle Kingdom will be a lot better. But Invasion Attack, the next pay-per-view, got an 86 rating. And let me just go down the list to show you what probably needs to be showed. Zack Sabre Jr., you should know him by now, defeated Kenny Omega for the junior title. And Tanahashi defeated Bobby Roode for the openweight title, like I said, trying to get some prestige on the openweight title, as well as pushing Bobby Roode and keeping Tanahashi in a place where he can't mess with Okada and the other guys, because I don't want Tanahashi to get into my main event scene right now. Styles defeated Nakamura to retain, and then Okada defeated Seth Rollins to retain the heavyweight title. That was simply because I had no more appearances with Seth Rollins, and it would make no sense for me to have him win the title just to vacate it. So Seth Rollins did the job on his last time in New Japan. I said goodbye and good working with you, because it was fun having Rollins in New Japan, and it would never happen, but crazier things have happened in the world. So the next pay-per-view that had happened was my best show so far. It got a 92 overall rating, and I attribute a lot of that to my opening matches and just the fact that I did not have a weak match on this card. And I attribute a lot of it to my booking. And I know that sounds conceited, but I've really, in these house shows, done a good job of getting the people that I want to get over, the people that are going to be on the pay-per-views over, so that way when they're going at it on the pay-per-views, their matches actually mean something. So by the time the Super Juniors had come around, their matches meant something. So the Super Juniors is the same thing as the G1 Climax and NJPW, except it's only with lightweight sort of wrestlers. So in the semifinals of that tournament, Jay Lethal defeated Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly with Red Dragon, really good talent, just one to look out for. And of course, Jay Lethal, ROH champion. I managed to sign him towards the beginning of the save. And then in the other semifinal, Roderick Strong defeated Kota Ibushi. You know how good Kota Ibushi is. He had that amazing match with Nakamura at WK9, and Roderick Strong, the current TV champion for ROH. Arguably a really, really good wrestler, probably one of the better ones at ROH. So if we go down here, as you can see, Okada didn't even defend his title. So Omega defeated Zack Sabre Jr. for the junior heavyweight title. That's because Zack Sabre Jr. did not want to sign a contract with me after his 6 months deal was expiring. So I said, well, you're gonna have to job out your title after having 1 month with it, and I did not like that. But he put on a good match to leave, so I was okay with it. Young Bucks defeated the Wolves to get back their junior tag titles, and in the final of the Super Juniors tournament, Roderick Strong defeated Jay Lethal to win the Super Juniors and thus win a title shot against the current junior title holder, which was Kenny Omega. And yeah, you're going to see that one and get confused too, but like I had said earlier, I had worked out that deal with WWE, thus I was able to get Randy Orton too. And I put him up in a match with Bobby Roode because I just signed him on a one appearance deal. And I was thinking it wouldn't do that well because, well, New Japan is weird in that they don't care very much, the fans I'm talking about. The fans don't care as much about the character as much as they do the wrestler. And so they see Randy Orton, the wrestler, and Randy Orton is a good worker, and Bobby Roode is a good worker. And not only is this a match that I could picture seeing in real life, I could see this match being a 5-star match in real life. Bobby Roode, even though he's getting up there in age along with Orton, is still a very good worker. And this match got a 98 overall grade. That's about as 5 stars it's going to get. And I mean, the next match got a 5-star rating basically too, but a 98 overall rating. That is the highest grade for a match I've ever gotten in the history of me playing TEW. And at this point, I was like, well, shit, Bobby Roode needs to be my heavyweight champion. He's going to keep on putting these kind of matches, even against guys that he's going to be carrying up mountains. I could put him in a tag team with a young guy that I'm trying to get over, and he's going to get him over quickly. Bobby Roode, at this point, I figured was my franchise player. And I say that loving AJ Styles, but AJ Styles has not had the same type of matches that Bobby Roode has had, at least in this save, in this game. Keep in mind this is a game, but that told me that Bobby Roode was ready. And then in the main event, because I figured that one wouldn't be main event caliber, which I was dumb to think, Styles defeated Nakamura to retain again, so that ended their feud. Styles defeating Nakamura 3 times. So then it was the G1 Climax, and let's see how many. 1, 2, 3. Oh, never mind. Our next pay-per-view was the one that you guys just saw. And I was thinking about doing a road to the G1 Climax, but I decided to move it back to November, so that way I could have proper time to actually build up to the climax, to the tournament finals and stuff like that, because I need a lot of cards for the preliminary matches and stuff like that. So yeah, I've started calling the house shows the Road to the Super J Cup. But yeah, you guys saw Dominion. You guys saw the events that happened in Dominion, and sorry for the pop-ups not working in the last video. I'm pretty sure I've got it working correctly this time, but that show rating got an 82. Not the best, but as you can see, Roode defeated Okada for the heavyweight title. That got an 88, and I'm pretty happy with the show overall. I think what really kind of trickled it down a little bit was that segment. I mean, there's on occasions, NJPW will have segments on their shows but it's very rare. Like usually Bullet Club will, run a heel promo or something like that, or like recently I think it was Goto. Yeah, Goto cut a promo on Okada like, "Hey, I want your title." Blah 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. So the segments didn't do that well, but the show overall was pretty good, and it increased our rating like worldwide. So I'm happy with that. So that's where we are as far as history wise. Now, as far as roster wise, I'm gonna show you the entire roster, and sorry about that. So I'm going to show you the entire roster, and I want you guys to let me know in the comments below if you want me to let go of any of these guys. Keep in mind they're on written contracts, so it's probably going to cost me a little money. If you want me to let go of any of these guys, or if you want me to pick up any workers that you do not see on this list. I think I'm looking to get Samoa Joe, but he's still on contract with WWE, but it's expiring in a couple of months. If you want me to go after him or try to go after him, let me know in the comments, along with any other workers that you want me to go after. All right, so working my way up from the Z's, we have Yujiro Takahashi, Yoshihashi, Yohei Komatsu, young guy, Tiger Mask, 45 years old, damn, Tetsuya Naito, a lot better as a heel, Tama Tonga, Rusev, Takamichi Noku, Taiji Shimori, Taichi. This guy graduated from the New Japan Dojo in-game, and I just signed him up as a young boy. He's only 20 years old, so, I mean, I don't know. He has no face, though, so I might just change his name to No Face. Sho Tanaka, Nakamura, who's recently signed with the WWE along with AJ Styles, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson, but in-game at the time I was already playing, he was still in New Japan. Shelton Benjamin, who I don't use very often, Shane Haste, along with Mikey Nichols, TMDK, Satoshi Kojima, Husuke Taguchi, Rod Strong, as I showed you earlier, Rocky Romero, Ricochet, Prince Puma, you may know him, Rich Swann, also in NXT, Paul London, yes, Paul London, Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, Nick Aldis, or Magnus from TNA, Naomichi Marufuji, MVP, yes, MVP, the first IC title holder in New Japan, Mikey Nichols, Mike Elgin, Mike Bennett, and Matt Taven, The Kingdom, Matt Seidel, a.k.a. Evan Bourne, Matt Stryker, he's a commentator, Matt Jackson, Mascara Dorada, Marty Skrull, he's the ref, Archer, La Sombra, who WWE just signed, Kyle O'Reilly, Kushida, Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, Shibata, Carl Anderson, Jushin Liger. I usually just use them to put over guys. Juice Robinson, CJ Parker, Johnny Gargano. You can also catch him on NXT. Jim Ross, he's my commentator, my English commentator. Jay Lethal, Red Shoes, Tenzan, use him to put over guys. Tanahashi, never open weight title holder. Goto, Hiromu Takahashi, Eddie Edwards, along with Davey Richards, Doc Gallows, David Finlay Jr., I talked about him in the last episode, Davey Richards, Davey Boy Smith, Cody Hall, CM Punk, who I talked about also in the last episode. However, he's yet to debut because apparently he's filming a movie in this in this save right now, so I can't use him as of yet, but I already explained how I'm going to use him for a feud with AJ Styles. All right, we got Bushi, Bobby Roode, our heavyweight title holder, and he's not going to lose that for a while. Bobby Lashley, Bobby Fish, Trent Beretta, Bad Luck Fale, Austin Aries, Alex Shelley, Alex Kozlov, and AJ Styles, and that's just me as the booker. So those are all the guys on our roster. Let me know in the comments who you want me to add or who you want me to release. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. I just wanted to catch you guys up to speed. Our next big show is going to be the Super J Cup. And if you want, I can basically just start at the beginning of... I can start at the beginning of the actual pay-per-view and just go over the actual matches and just tell you who won each match and why I'm thinking about doing it in that way. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start at the beginning of the pay-per-view Super J Cup, and I'll just go over that with you. So leave me a comment down below if you want, like this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at azpalau21, and I hope you guys have a good day.